All right, let's learn some more rhythms. Today, in this video, we're going to learn about half notes. You can see up in the corner up here, we're going to learn about some half notes. But we got to go over maybe some review and some other things first. So first and foremost, we have two measures right here. Okay, in music, a lot of times you're going to see your bass clef or your treble clef right there at the beginning of the first measure. And let's draw some notes. We got 1, 2. These are a little sloppy, so sorry, but I'm just going fast on my computer screen. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you notice I left kind of a little empty space right here. In music, we have this thing called a time signature. A time signature. And the most common time signature that you'll come across is called 4/4. There's a top number and there's a bottom number. And the way I like to think about it is the top number tells you how many counts are in a measure, or how many beats are in a measure. So we got a 4/4 time signature. We got 4 beats per measure, or 4 counts per measure. And then the bottom number tells you what type of note gets the beat. So the bottom, think 1/4 in math, we'd call that 1/4. So the quarter note gets the beat. So another way I like to think about it is 4/4 equals 4 over quarter note. Okay, so we got 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. Okay, so that's called a time signature. Your time signature. And that's what it is. There's different time signatures. There's a 3/4 time signature. That would mean 3 beats per measure. The quarter note gets the beat. There's 2/4 time signature. You could have 1/4 time signature. You could have 7,836 4 time signature. That would mean there are 7,836 beats in the measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. But that's pretty ridiculous, and no one would ever have a measure that long. That's pretty crazy, but theoretically, it's possible. So I'm going to delete all those time signatures right there. That's a little intro to what a time signature is. And really, we're just going to be working in 4/4 for a long time, and we'll move to other ones later. Now, let's count this, okay? I got my metronome going. Let's count these two measures. Ready, set, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, were you tapping your toe? Down, up, down, up. Were you pointing at the notes? You need to point at the notes. If you got it on a paper, you touch the notes, right? And you got to make sure you do that. Are you pulsing? 1, 2. Were you counting with enthusiasm, or were you being boring? 1, 2. I'm going to fall asleep, right? No, count with enthusiasm, okay? Now, we're going to write this in. Last time we worked on writing, we wrote a big 1, a big 2, a big 3, and a big 4, like that. We're going to add something this time. As you can see up in the top right up here, I have this little table, and it says the name of the note picture, the rest picture, the duration, and the pulses. So a quarter note looks like that picture. There's a quarter rest that looks like that. It gets 1 beat and it has 2 pulses. Well, when we're writing in our music, I actually like to write all the pulses in too. But we would not write it like this. We wouldn't go like that, big. We're going to do something different. We're going to go like this. We have our beats right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. But when we count it, 1, 2, you can hear that little pulse. I'm going to make that a small, I call it an and. It looks like a plus sign. Maybe you draw it like an and. Some people do shorthand like that. But I wouldn't draw like the, and like that, or however some people do that. Just do a little plus. And the reason it's little is because it's not what we actually count. It's called an and count, or an upbeat. That was a very strange thing that just happened on the screen. I think it's because I touched the screen 2 places. And it's the pulse sound, but it's small because we don't say the and. We will later when we learn some different notes, but when we write in a quarter note, we're going to write the big 1 because that's where the note starts, and then we're going to write that small and that means that pulse, or like right here, I'm circling the first one, that is inside the first beat or inside that quarter note. It's halfway through. It's kind of like the same as when we're tapping our toe. When we tap our toe, when it's up, that's when that and count is. That's when the pulse is. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so when we're writing in rhythms, we're going to start writing all those little ands or those pulse counts in there too. Okay, now, if I was to write, a rest in there too, let's say I have a quarter rest on beat 2 in measure 2, I would go 1, and then I would make a small 2, and I'd make a small and I'd cross those out because it's a rest and they're small. They're still there, but I cross them out because it's a rest. Okay, now let's teach something else new. I'm going to put that quarter note back in there, a big 2, a small and. Let's teach something new. I'm going to get rid of all my counts. Let's erase all the counting. And we need a new note. You can see up above, it's called a half note. And, a quarter note kind of looks like this. I don't know if it's going to be forward or backwards in the video, but a half note is empty on the inside. It's not filled in. And you can see that a half rest kind of looks like a top hat. You can see up there that a half note has 2 beats. It lasts for 2 beats, and it lasts for 4 pulses. So let's eliminate these first 2 beats in measure 1, and we're going to put a half note in there. That half note's worth 2 counts, and then on count 3 and 4, we have those 2 quarter notes. So the way I would count that, I have my metronome, I would pulse, and I would keep saying 1. I'd go 1, 3, 4. That's how that works. Let's write that in. I'd go 1, 3, 4. Look at what I just wrote. I'd count it saying 1 because it lasts for 2 beats or 4 pulses. But you can see what I wrote there was the 1 and then a small and then a small 2 and then a small and. And the reason they're small is because those are inside of that half note, right? Those last through that half note, okay? So we have 1 and 2 and inside that half note. 4 pulses, so we're writing 4 things, and 2 beats for the half note. Let's add another half note somewhere. How about we, in measure 2, we add a half note on beat 2. Let's write that in. We would go big 1, then what? You tell me first. Small and then we go big 2, say big 2, and then small and. But a half note has 4 pulses, so we're going to write 4 things. So we have to write beat 3 comes after that 2 and the and after 2. And then the 4th thing is the and after beat 3. That's a 3. It's kind of, I'm going to rewrite it. That was hard to tell. And then we have a big 4 because there's a new note right there, and then a small and. So the way I would count that is I would go 1, 3, 4. That was the first measure. And the second measure goes 1, 2, 4. Beat 3 is inside the half note that starts on beat 2. Okay, let's count it together. Ready? And this time when we're going to clap also. I'm going to clap with you. Ready? You clap when the note starts. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. How'd you do? Let's try it again. See if you can do better. 1, set, and here we go. Tap your toe. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. All right. How'd you do? So what we learned about was we learned how to write in our pulses. We learned about half rests. Actually, we didn't learn about half rests. Let's do that right now. Let's go in measure 2. Let's eliminate that half note and let's fill it in with a half rest. It kind of looks like a top hat. And it gets 2 beats of silence. So, and how I would write that is I would write a small 2, a small and, a small 3, a small and I would cross it out because it's a rest. They're still there, but it's a rest. Now let's count that. Ready, set, here we go. 1, 3, 4, 1, 4. Did you notice how I kind of went like this on the rest? So let's count that one more time. The video clicked me off. It was a 10-minute max, and now I forgot where I was. So let's count that again. Ready? Here we go. 1, 3, 4. 1, 4. That's right. I was talking about how I go like this during the rest. I kind of, help myself. It's a visual thing to help me not say or clap during those rests. So review for today. We learned about half notes. We learned about how to write in the pulses on our rhythms. We learned about time signatures. We learned about half rests, and we learned that a half note and a half rest get 2 beats and 4 pulses. A half note gets 2 beats and 4 pulses of sound, and a half rest gets 2 beats and 4 pulses of silence. All right, now go find your rhythm sheets, your rhythm counting packet or your rhythm counting document, and go scroll down. Start counting some rhythms. Turn the metronome on and count with it. Okay? Have fun. Keep practicing.